says you're offline. Oh, never
I
mind.
just did it again. All right. All right, everybody. Today we are going over the week one spreads and totals. We have Miles Thomas here. Miles, if you'd
Hey,
like
hey
to
guys.
introduce yourself.
Hey, I want to introduce myself. Miles Thomas.
And he's in the top right up there.
That's
It's,
me. That's
we're
a
working on the
live
webcam.
that's
If
a
anyone
live cam
wants
feed.
to
No, that's
donate
live
to
right now.
us, and we
That's a
have
live cam feed at the
little
moment.
Dexy here. He watches a lot of football all the time. So basically, what we're going to do is we're just going to go through all the spreads. Me and Mills are going to say which which ones we like, which ones we don't like, which ones we say that you should gamble on, or whatever. Take whatever you want.
And I think Alex is definitely more. I stay away from over under, but I think his favorite over unders, he'll definitely be giving some enlightenment on that. But we really want to go game to game, kind of a breakdown of what we like about the game and why we think that's our spread. What we don't like about the game, I will tell you, like, stay away from it, don't bet it. So I guess we're gonna start with tomorrow's Thursday night football. Football's back finally. Preseason's over. Uh, we got Tampa Bay Buccaneers just won the Super Bowl, and this is in Dallas, right? Or is it in
No,
Tampa?
it's in
It's in
Tampa,
Tampa. Okay.
and they're like 9-0 from the bye week. They're undefeated.
Okay, and
Antonio Brown, since I don't think Antonio Brown's lost the game yet.
Antonio Brown is also, according to Bruce Arians, is pretty much at his Steelers' strength,
Hmm.
as good as he's been. And you got all 22 starters returning for Tampa Bay. Huge. I think if the season kept going past the Super Bowl, they would have, they were getting their groove. They're really hot. Dallas Cowboys. Fuck. I mean, their starting quarterback. I think I heard Skip Bayless say today he hasn't thrown a ball, or he hasn't played in 333 days or something like that. Like, that was the last time he's been in a game. Missed all preseason because of shoulder injury. I like. It keeps going up. It started at what, 6.5? That was
So yeah, I was gonna say I had already taken this line, and what I did is I teased it. So I teased the Bucks and the over under, and I got it. I did 7 points, so I got it down to basically a Buccaneers pick'em game, and then I got the over down to like 44. So I personally think it's going to be a high scoring game. You know, Dak in his 5 games that he played last year was just throwing the shit out of the ball, and they had scored like 40 points a game. Our defense is god awful. And then the Bucks. I just see it being a shootout and it being like 35-28 or something like that. And
Mhm.
I really don't. I was thinking about it. I don't see a world where the Cowboys can win. Like
uh,
out of 100 games, or like say 10 games, how many times do you think the Cowboys take a game? Like 1 to 2?
uh, probably not at all.
I literally think there's like a 90% chance that the Buccaneers win. Like I would be really shocked. Like they're super hot. Tom Brady has always got something to prove. You know, everything's going against the Cowboys right now. Like we have COVID crap happening. Dak hasn't been able to practice his ankle, his shoulder. We got Mike McCarthy. They're away. Eh, unless the Buccaneers just come out to not play and they
Mhm.
just don't care, then we lose. So I don't know your opinion on this spread because it is hefty. That's why I
Yeah.
kind of brought it down. Um, and another thing I was kind of seeing that other like experts are doing is they're just parlaying a couple money lines. So kind of like that money line parlay that I sent over to you earlier.
Mhm.
We like what we're saying. We don't see them losing, so maybe there's a situation where you could parlay it or something. I at this point 8.5, I wouldn't touch that. At 6.5, I liked it for the Bucks, but it is kind of high now. I still kind of like the over, I, but
I
that's my
think
opinion.
I would say I would get nervous if I saw 10.5.
Yeah.
Like, so you have defending Super Bowl champions. You got Tom Brady, of course. You have, not only are they playing at home, but the last time they played at home was in the Super Bowl. So, and you have fans there. So you got Tampa Bay fans. They're going to be there. The
It's like
defense.
$600 a ticket. We
Yeah.
have to give a little shout out to Sammy Garza in the chat right now.
Oh, hey, Sam Gars.
Thank you.
We'll go
for
through
joining.
Eagles. Yes, Sam Gars. But Cowboys, Cowboys defense. I think we should start there, and this is why I'm so okay with the 8.5 that we're looking at, is because it's Tom Brady going to be able to pick apart the Cowboys defense that they've obviously, Micah Parsons that they added. You still have the Wolf Hunter or whatever his name is, and Van Der Esch, and then you have Jalen Smith. They picked up. I forget his name. He was a former safety, but he's in the box now playing weak side linebacker. So they made additions, but I'm still not convinced whatsoever that they're going to be able to uphold at all. It could be a scoring match, like you say, but the Bucs defense is definitely far superior than the Cowboys defense.
For sure. I did agree with your little Super Bowl argument and the fact that the Chiefs weren't able to do anything to their defense. I do think that that's in a Super Bowl circumstance, so it changes a little bit. And this is kind of just a regular season game.
So what I said was the Chiefs offense, what they were in the Super Bowl, is still better what the Cowboys have today.
Right.
But like you said, like in that same era, Super Bowl, nerves, whatever. So I think this is a beatdown. This could be an embarrassing game. It's an away game for Cowboys. And then another thing that we kind of even haven't talked about is Zeke back? That's a whole thing.
I think
Zach
so.
Martin is out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have an all-pro Pro Bowl guard.
Huge. I think that's kind of what started the line movement, honestly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Was that happened, and then people started betting it and moving it a lot because it started 6.5. I personally think Zeke is back. I actually have a season prop on him to, I think it's like 1,400 all-purpose yards, or like receiving and rushing, I guess. This game specifically, I think he has like a 60 rushing yard prop or something like that. I don't know if I'm gonna take that, but I'm kind of just riding with the whole season. Another thing I'm huge on, and you kind of said it earlier, was Antonio Brown. I kind of looked at his stats when he came back, and he's getting the same amount of receptions and targets as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Oh, so they're just throwing it.
What I'm saying is, like, they don't really even have like they have like a three-headed beast, basically. They have all those guys. They only got better from last year. Like, there's rumbles in the practice facility or whatever that AB is going to be the Steelers guy, and I have a prop on him to get over 700 yards, which I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's like 50 yards a game. And
wait, who?
Antonio Brown for the whole season.
700?
Yeah.
Wow.
And like I said, he had played 9 games. He's getting the same amount of targets and receptions as the other two guys. So I think he's fully capable of doing that. I mean, their offenses are kind of a mirror of each other in a way, but the Bucs just easily have defense.
The Bucs separate the offense with their offensive line. I think that's how it'll be. And Zeke is a better running back than Fournette and
for
Rojo.
Sure. Rojo, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. So I guess you're kind of leaning on that 8.5 for the Bucs.
I mean, like I said, I don't get nervous, and so I see 10.5. I mean, the only thing, like you said, the 10 games, if they keep playing, how many Cowboys win? It's all. There's nothing that Cowboys can do. It'd be on the Bucs just not showing up. That's the only way the Cowboys win.
I think that's kind of like a stupid way to bet, right?
Mm-hmm, definitely.
It's kind of like how I see people draft. They're like, well, I'm assuming this guy gets hurt. You're not going to get like a handcuff or whatever, but I just think that's like a weird way to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
that you're just assuming a team won't show up. But yeah, I think
Right.
I think the Cowboys have like a 10% chance of winning this game. I think when I first started thinking about it, I thought they could win like a little, like maybe 20 to 25. And then when I thought more and more about it, I've been fading us even harder. And it seems
Uh-huh.
like the pros and the public is doing that. So yeah.
All right.
And
All
then
right.
we can move on to the next one. But my bet, and it kind of changes now, but it's Bucks money line over 44. And I'm probably predicting like a 35 to like 24 range game or so.
I'm on a 35-10. Like I think it's
Okay. Well,
like it's
in
a
your case,
beatdown.
I'd still land my bet.
Yeah, for sure, for
All
sure.
right.
But I think it's going to be a pretty much big down. New
Yeah.
York Jets. What is that at Carolina?
Yeah.
Frick. So you got Sam Darnold, who
A
is
revenge game, which is
yeah,
kind of a big deal. It's one thing
yes,
that I kind of heard about today. I guess I just wasn't really thinking about it, but that revenge thing is kind of a problem because we kind of looked at Trubisky earlier in the preseason and he really showed up. You're basically betting
nah,
on Darnold almost, like how he's going to produce.
yes. Hi, Jamie. We are recording right now.
We have
Oh, okay,
a
okay.
fellow Jamie in our chat.
Hi, Jamie. Um, so New York Jets, I would say these are the pros, right? The pros is lack of film on Zach Wilson. Robert Saleh coming in from being a defensive coordinator in San Francisco, now head coach, has I don't know which LaFleur it is. It's one of the LaFleur brothers as his offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like the 5.5 plus Jets simply because of the unknown. I fear the unknown. You don't know how they're going to defend for the New York Jets. You don't know really how the offense is going to flourish through Zach Wilson. You don't know his limits. You don't know what he can do. I hear that having Mekhi Becton and their rookie guard out of blanking out USC, Elijah Vera Tucker, the offensive line seems to be pretty stout. I would say there's a few question marks defensively, losing Carl Lawson up from Cincinnati. So there's some woes there, but I'm still banking on what experts are talking about in the film room with Sam Darnold still just like not being a good quarterback. Even though he was in New York, had Adam Gase, they don't think he was given a fair shake.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall, this is going to be one of those predicaments where I think a lot of people might be hammering Panthers because of their offensive weapons, which are crazy good.
McCaffrey.
Yeah, you got McCaffrey back.
I think, and this is something that I kind of see later on in some of the other games, but I think kind of what's happened to this is so many people are so off the Jets that it's becoming too much. They're too off the Jets.
Yep.
And it's kind of like I said, it's kind of something that we might see later.
Yeah.
I kind of believe in Sam Darnold a little bit, but with a 5.5, especially at the beginning of the season when a lot of these games are coin flippy, we don't really know what to expect. You're really gonna give a team that's bad a 5.5 point spread against a team that's like maybe barely worse than them. Because what are the Panthers like realistically going to go this season? 6-11 probably, and the Jets are going to go like 5-12.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
So
and you have a
telling me
team
that they're 5.5 points better. I mean, and did they really even have like a crowd there at all?
I would assume yes.
Okay, yeah.
I do know the New York Jets, they travel well. It's New York, so I'm pretty sure there's not going to be anything crazy there. But you got one team that drafted at number 2, another team that drafted number 8. So I mean, clearly those teams weren't very good last year. You do have Matt Rule coming in. Maybe him and Joe Brady can do something with Sam Darnold, and he can shock the world, make the game really easy for him. I don't think the Panthers have a good offensive line for the most part, but even though I think their defense is really good. So I think this game is going to be really based upon the Panthers defense and the Jets offense because no one knows what it's going to look like.
Yeah,
honestly,
and
it's probably going to look like the 49ers offense, West Coast, but I'm not 100% like. And then you have the whole Zach Wilson, dude. Like he is. If he sticks, he is going to stick. Like he is going to be one
that's
of
kind
those
of
guys.
where I was going. During the preseason, he's looked pretty good, and
Dude.
there have been a lot of rumbles on him that he's a really good player.
Yeah,
like
for
Tony
sure.
Romo. I don't know if you heard that. He said he's going to be like a top
Yeah.
5 quarterback.
I heard that.
You know, with that information, it's kind of just going off of what I was saying earlier, and the fact that I can't lay 5.5 points on the Panthers here. Like
Definitely not.
it's just it scares me. They're not a good enough team to put the points on like that. So yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a field goal game. Sure, they probably win, but I mean, if we can get a field goal with the Jets, I'm taking that. So I don't. The over under is probably correct, you know, something like that. So I kind of stray away from that. But we can move on to the next game if you want.
Yeah, let's.
So we got Steelers Bills. Steelers got embarrassed last season all around. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, we don't know what he is, and then we will say that the Bills are the hot team this year. Everyone's talking about how great they're going to be. I personally love them, but a lot of people are actually saying that the Bills are like the public team and they're not really like the sharp team, and that the novice people in NFL are hot on the Bills.
No, that's always bad news.
Right.
But kind of what you said about the Jets. Like, I'm gonna go back to what you said. You said everyone is super off on the Jets to where it's like you can't be that off on them. And I think, unfortunately, the Steelers, it's that same energy with the Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
With the Steelers.
What Steelers compared to who, dude?
Oh, hey, Brent. We're recording at the moment. But hey, we love to have you here. If you just shut up, okay?
Whoa, dude.
So
you can eat my butt.
Okay, this is
We'll bring you in a guest appearance on the Eagles game.
Yeah, when we talk Eagles, we would love to have you
What are you
in.
recording on?
Hey, hosts of this show of all
this show shot. It's over. Okay.
Nice. Yes.
So let's keep it going. Let's keep pushing through. So like we were saying, New York Jets, right? How everyone is off on them to where it's like, come on, you can't be too off. I think it's still with the Steelers. They were 11-0 at some point last year, and out of nowhere had some crazy debacle. They lose Pouncey, I believe it's Mike Pouncey. They lose him, the center. I like plus 6.5 for the Steelers. I know that's probably tough, but it's still week one. It's week one, so you got to get kinks out. People are saying the Bills are likely to have some type of regression, especially Josh Allen had a monster year last year.
That's
what kind
of what I was saying earlier, and all the podcasts I'm listening to and stuff. They're kind of talking about the Bills. You know, they had one good year. Josh Allen had, and this is me speaking opposite of what I actually think. I'm a huge Bills stan. Stephon Diggs literally won me like $700 off of my fantasy league. But yeah, I mean, you know, we have the one bad, quote unquote, bad year from the Steelers, right? I mean, Mike Tomlin, hasn't he been like over 500 every single year he's coached? And then
to call it a bad year it's still a stretch.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of yelling.
And then you have the Bills, who, you know, they're saying that Josh Allen has only had one good year or whatever. I think the line is like correct. Probably, I'm staying away. I haven't even touched this at all. I think the Bills probably win by 7, but I'm just gonna stray away.
I would say I'd say 100%. I'd say take plus 6.5 if you have TJ Watt playing. If TJ Watt is out there playing, you take the 6.5. If he's not, you take Bills 6.5.
Is TJ Watt holding out? Like if he doesn't get a contract?
People don't know at the moment. I haven't seen anything saying he is going to play.
He's been practicing, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But-
I mean, if he's been practicing, then he's probably playing.
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
That's what I think, dude. Yeah.
All right. Then.
One thing you could do here is you could buy a half point and then just ride with the +7. It's probably going to be like minus 120, 125, but that way you're going to have the touchdown as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think the Bills are exponentially better than the Steelers by any means. I think they probably end up being one of the better teams in the AFC, and I think the Steelers can definitely sneak in a playoffs this year.
I actually like, now I'm thinking about it. You got Bush coming back, middle linebacker for the Steelers. Oh, I forget his first name, but I think Devin Bush out of Michigan. I like the 6.5. I think that's a good plus 6.5. I think that's really good, Steelers.
Don't the Steelers or doesn't Mike Tomlin like not have any losing seasons or something?
Yeah, he always
I don't
goes
know
500 at
why.
least.
Earlier. I don't know,
Right, then I
Brent.
don't
I don't know
really
if you've been
understand.
tuning in to our
Definitely
podcast at
hasn't.
all, but
Hey, have y'all
dude.
talked about Washington football team yet?
we'll bring you in, Jamie.
No, it's okay.
For,
I'm just
for
ready to hear.
viewers tuning in on YouTube that can't see the 55 viewers that we have on YouTube, we have a Washington team fan here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really
wow.
know their name, and then we have a Eagles fan in the chat.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Go
we'll
Birds.
go.
We'll call you guys in
I'm
when your teams are
fading,
here.
and Miles is
I'm
taking
pressing
6.5.
6.5 on Steelers
And
plus
we'll
6.5.
move on to the next game. 49ers
Probably
Lions.
a bloodbath. This next one.
Maybe.
7.5. I would say the only, like I said, kind of how we spoke about earlier, the only way this is not an overall beatdown is if the 49ers just come out sitting on their hands or something, like they're not into it or whatever, taking them for granted, and Lions punch them in the mouth. And just saw that Jets Panthers, that line just changed to 5 instead of 5.5. But
Oh really? Oh wow, yeah, that is
yeah,
interesting.
just changed from 5 to 5.5.
Excuse me.
But where you at on this one? Minus 7.5. That's a lot.
So where are you?
I would fade, even though I just said it's going to be a beatdown. But I'm also a person that has seen 49ers lose games they should definitely win.
I'm on the Lions here.
Plus 7.5.
Disgustingly, sadly, Lions 7.5.
I think Jared Goff too.
I mean, the
Niners.
fact that a home team is laying 7.5 points and it is like enough for me. I think if it was like 6.5, I may have a different opinion. It pains me a lot to even say this. I have the 49ers in a moneyline parlay with the Rams, actually, both just winning the game. I liked that a lot. I think it was like minus 130 or something. I think their coach is like a lunatic. So
yeah.
I think
Psychopath.
that alone can kind of maybe help them, at least in like the beginning of the season. Like he has that like rally to him. And I mean, I think they're going to be bad this year, but I think the 49ers, they just have a lot of like inner low-key like turmoil, like with the whole like QB situation. And like you said, they're one of those teams that could just like blow a random game like this. And the fact that they're away, and then like I said, away doesn't help your odds of winning, and then now you're supposed to lay over 7 points in a game like this. I mean, I would probably guess that the 49ers win by like a touchdown or maybe 3. So I would probably lean. I'm not betting on it. I don't want
I would
to
stay
bet
away.
on the Lions. I'm not betting on Jared Goff.
Nope.
But if I had to pick one, aka Real Friends Pick'em League, I'm going 7.5 for the Lions.
I think if I had to, you put Colt 45 right to my temple and you blow it up, I'd go 7.5 49ers.
Whoa,
Yeah.
dude.
I will not bank on Jared Goff performing well in any form of football.
Yeah, I think the 49ers are really going to get carried by their like defenses here. The whole like Jimmy G, Trey Lance thing is very like weird and sus to me. I don't think we've ever really seen like a quarterback competition with like a team this good. It's strange. Another thing that I heard, I don't like know the context of it, but someone was like, I don't know if Jimmy G can lead this team to a Super Bowl, and they were like, well, I
What?
mean, he has already. So that was like kind of the comeback, right? It was funny because someone was like, Jimmy G can't lead this team, and it's like, dude, he already did it before.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think you don't know how he's going to take that. Like
Yeah.
he could thrive or he could kind of crumble under the pressure. And I think the Lions are just one of those typical teams that like will win / like cover a game like this.
I bet they
So-
cover. They don't win, but I bet they can have enough motor oil
Right.
to
And
to cut
the
to cover.
0.5
Yeah.
is the thing that like scares me. So I added like the 49ers in a couple parlays or whatever, but in sense of the
money
spread,
line.
like I'm just gonna stay away.
All right.
So we'll move on to the Texans and Jaguars, one of my favorite games.
I'm not talking about
low
this
key.
about you.
I
won't do it.
heard I heard a podcast today talking about this game. It's like the least bet game of the week,
Mhm.
but it's like my favorite one. And I'm not hyping myself up, but they were kind of saying that like all the sharps are on this game. Even though like the public is straight up just staying away because it's going to be the corner game in like Vegas, right? No one's going to be watching this like Texans Jaguars game.
Mhm.
So 3 points, Texans at home. We got rookie QB, rookie coach with against Tyrod Taylor, a veteran quarterback. I am taking +3 Texans.
Yes.
Already took it. And probably one of my most favorite things, which some people are actually against this that I've been hearing,
The
but
under?
I don't understand. I'm all over the under. Like
Mhm.
so what people are saying is that both teams are so bad that they're going to score a lot of points. But I don't understand that. I'm actually the opposite. I think if you're so bad, you won't score points. And like I said, the Jags like in the preseason they looked so bad like on offense. You don't really know if Urban Meyer like is the right guy for this job. The only team they looked good against were the Cowboys, who were probably the worst preseason team ever.
Mhm.
So yeah, I laid some money on the 45.5. I'm going with the Texans +3. I think +155 on a money line is a decent
I mean, that's
bet.
good. Yeah.
There's this going back to that little argument that we had earlier with the Jets and whatever. There's a lot of people thinking that the Jags are going to be this really good team this year, or not really good, but a 500
Surprising.
team, surprising, 8 and 9 or whatever. Yeah, 8-9 team. And then the Texans, people think they're going to go 0-16.
Mhm.
In my head, the Texans could scoop, 3 wins this year, and then the Jags are going to win like 6 games. So I'm rolling with the Texans, and once again, pain is what
Not
I'm
talking.
dealing
I'm
with.
not. We can go to the next one. I'm not doing it. I'm not talking about
So
it.
I'm gonna fade Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer, and I'm taking the Texans with their 3 backfield: Mark Ingram, David Johnson, Philip Lindsay backfield. Average age 37 and a
God, I
half.
need you to stop talking about this game. Please go to the next game.
So
Dear
I'm
Lord.
predicting a 13-10 victory for the Jags or something like that. I don't know, but I definitely think this is more of a coin flip than Vegas appears. And once again, you got a team that's home and they have points they have points, right? So
Mhm.
that's kind of my mentality. All right, we got Colts Seahawks 2.5 at Colts. This line has moved so much throughout the whole season or the whole summer, I guess.
Was it like
'Cause
1.5?
So I
first?
wanted to take this a while ago. It was Seahawks underdogs 2.5, and I think, or like 3, and it's moved to now they're the favorite by 2.5, and that's entirely because of Carson Wentz because he wasn't supposed to play.
Is he? Did they okay it? Is it still they don't know
think
yet?
no one really knows.
He's
Okay.
practicing, dude.
Yeah, he's practicing. I think everyone's under the assumption that he'll play. I don't have an opinion on this game at all. Actually, I'm just staying away entirely.
I would just I'd go minus 2.5 Seahawks, 100% because of how they always start every year. I feel like they're always a hot team early in the season. Colts lost to the Jags week 1 last year. That lingers in my head a little bit. Maybe they start out kind of slow. Don't know if Carson Wentz had enough continuity with the team this year, with the injury, and then I believe with COVID or whatever. Not sure if Quentin Nelson's going to be playing. That's a huge part. I just think the Seahawks are probably a little bit more glued together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
There's-
wouldn't. I if I had to, I'd go Seahawks. But this is it. This is a game where it could go either way. There's nothing really that's like screaming to me on
Right.
one team or the other.
Yeah. I think the Colts are one of those teams that have like extreme uncertainty with Wentz. He's one of those guys that can definitely show out to be like, hey, Brent, a top like 8 quarterback, right? And then he also has the potential to look like a complete failure.
Literally the worst quarterback in the National Football League.
So it's kind of
Mhm.
scary to like gamble on that when you really just have no idea.
And I'd rather just bank
when
on
I
Russell
when I
Wilson.
first
honestly.
predicted the spreads, like when we went to shout out Brent Gray's Costa Rican wedding, I was
Boo.
gonna put money on the Seahawks because they were underdogs in this
Mhm.
game. And like I said, the line has moved so much over to the Seahawks that I just don't really like it anymore. I kind of wish I took it then when they were like 3-point dogs or like 2.5, whatever it was, just because you're getting Russell Wilson plus the points. But yeah, I really just don't know what to expect at all from this game. So I'm just gonna stray from that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay, so now we got Titans Cardinals at Titans. I already bet this game. What do you like, Mills?
Yeah, Mills.
I would say losing our offensive coordinator Arthur Smith is huge, just because of how he was able to establish a run game with Derrick Henry. That being said, I think if you have 0 corners, and if a corner gets to your team and he says, "Hey, I think I'm just gonna retire," I think that's huge. So I'm taking the Titans simply because I think it's going to be a simple game plan of running the ball using play action. You got Julio Jones in Tennessee. You got AJ Brown, who is
AJ Brown didn't
underrated.
practice today, which is not great.
You think he won't play, or I haven't heard anything that he?
I just heard that he didn't practice. I have
It
no
could be
idea.
precaution or something like that.
Right.
AJ Brown. I mm,
This, from what I've been hearing, this is a very like back and forth thing
And-
for gamblers.
uh-huh.
What I took already is I did a teaser on this one, kind of similar to the Bucks. I did plus 10 Cardinals, and then I took the over at like 44. I think this game has the potential to be a bloodbath. Both teams have like very suspect defenses, and both teams have very good offenses. So, I mean, I think this is going to be one of those games. Even could like go into overtime and be
Mm,
like 40 to 35 or something like that. I took the Cardinals, yeah, plus 10. I think the line's right. I think on equal playing field, they're probably like equalish teams. I mean,
mhm.
I'm not as hot on the Titans as like most. I think they're good.
I mean, they're the favorites to win the division.
Are they right now over the Colts?
I believe so,
Okay.
from everything that I've heard. And
Maybe they have moved that
just
way.
because the Wentz thing.
Yeah,
Um,
right. I don't know. I think 3 is correct. So I'm leaning Cardinals. I don't like love it. I loved the over. I probably still like the over, even at like 52.5. I just think it's just gonna be like a super high scoring fiasco of a game. That's kind of
With
what
our
I can just see
with
Kyler Murray just running around like a psychopath.
our pick, I did go
Cardinals?
Titans. I
Oh,
went
Titans.
Titans.
Okay. Yeah.
I just think maybe I would honestly just think that the offense is going to be just too much for the Cardinals.
Do we know
and
where
then
Robert Gray's head is on this game? I guess we'll never we'll know
we'll never
we'll
know
know on
officially until after the
September
game. We'll know.
13th
Yeah,
is we'll know where his head
we'll know
was.
after the game because he'll say, "Oh yeah, I knew this was going to happen." So yeah.
I think he said he's worried about their corner situation.
Yeah, I mean when you have no corners and then you have Julio and AJ Brown, and you have a competent actually people are probably top 10 quarterback in Ryan Tannehill.
I thought you said he wasn't top 10.
I said probably top
Are we
10.
gonna get in this discussion now? We've been
I
30 minutes.
literally just said probably top 10. So I'm not saying he is or he isn't. Probably top 10 quarterback. And you have Derrick Henry, who is top 3 running back in the league. I just can't go against that. You got Julio,
For sure.
Derrick Henry, I just can't. And then I know I have Kyler Murray, I have Nuke, AJ Green's a shell of himself. Rondale Moore, I don't know. I don't think the offenses really match up perfectly. I like Titans.
All right. Next game, Jamie, if you want to unmute, if you're here. He's gonna
He's a
miss
goner,
out
dude.
on his one time as shine for the 70 viewers on YouTube. We
Oh
got
my God!
Chargers,
Whoa.
Washington football team. We don't know. I saw a like a tweet saying that their name should be the Sentinels, which I thought was like amazing, with the like replacements or whatever. And now I have a
Wait, wasn't it Washington in
yeah,
the movie?
yeah, I think so.
Oh my gosh,
Like
that
how
would be
sick
lit.
would that be? That'd like be easily the coolest name that they
I
could
might
possibly
be
do.
a fan.
That's what I'm saying.
Shane Falco was my favorite movie quarterback over Sunshine, like ever. That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah. So this the Sharps are on Washington here.
Good.
I think I predicted this right when we did our little thing. I think I did like I did 1 point, whether it was like Chargers or Washington, I don't really remember. I think Washington's probably the move here. Both teams are probably equal to each other, and they're only getting 1 point at home. I guess Washington doesn't really have much of a fan base, but kind of I think you can go over your little spiel with Herbert if you want right here.
This is if we did a little ranking of favorite to least favorite, this is 100% my favorite game. 100%.
To take Washington.
To take Washington.
And even with that, you're getting, at least according to this sports book, you're getting them at plus 100.
Yeah.
So that's cool as well.
So let's start off with their home team. I like that. I like what Antonio Gibson, how he was able to really shock a lot of people last year. You got Ryan Fitzpatrick as a starting quarterback, who is a guy who is definitely a gunslinger, but he's not an idiot. Like he's not, I don't want to call Jameis Winston an idiot, but if he makes a horrible throw, I think it's due to mechanics and not like it being like a dumb play.
He's mentally a veteran, right?
Yeah.
So as long as he can just keep the pace going, it should go well for them and allow his defense to just kind of win the game for him.
100%. And then I love De'Ami Brown out of North Carolina, of course, Terry McLaurin, and then Curtis Sample, he's came over from Carolina, Ron Rivera. Like I feel like this team would be talked about at such high regards if it wasn't the stigma of Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. I think that's it. Mm-hmm. It's just like a horrible, stinky stigma of it being Ryan Fitzpatrick. So it's like they're not going to be good.
They'd probably be like 7 points.
Oh yeah, you could take multiple different starting quarterbacks. I would think only Andy Dalton wouldn't be the.
This might be a dumb question, and I should know this. Did the Chargers get a new coach?
Brandon Staley, defensive coordinator out of LA. So that's my next spiel I want to get into. A lot of people want to talk about what Justin Herbert did last year, and it was really great what he was able to do as a rookie. My thing about him is I still want to revert to his not coming out as a rookie, coming out into the draft, and it was a lot of the times he couldn't finish a game. My whole thing is I think it helped him last year not having any fans in the stands. This is kind of going beyond football, I get that, but I think when you have the fans in the seats, he's going to be away. Whatever you think about Washington's fandom, whatever, I think it's just going to be a different ball game, something that he hasn't dealt with in a year. I think a lot of those rookie quarterbacks from a year ago might feel something a little bit different. And so he's one that I'm going to feel like, is he going to be able to Is he gonna regret? Would you bank on Justin Herbert regressing or being better than he was last year? If you had to say,
Probably regressing.
because
Just
he
was so good last
he
year.
was so good.
Right.
He was so good. I would think only regression is to come to play. But his offensive line is freaking stout. I can't ramble off all the names that they have, but
Eckler
the offensive
got
line
hurt in practice today too. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see that.
Yeah, I don't know how
how
it didn't
severe it
really
is.
give, details, but they were like, yeah, he got pulled off the field or something like that. So
Mhm.
I mean that for sure could mean something. I think when it comes to like power rankings, right, and you try to like rank these teams, aren't they like pretty similar? Like probably, I maybe like 12 and 13 or something like that, right, around there.
Oh, these two
So
teams, they
yeah,
seem
like in
yeah.
the sense of like all of the NFL, right? Where are these two teams landing? Like, they're like both in the like top 15, right?
Yeah, I would say
Um,
they're right around there.
so why are we giving at home? Why is Washington only a 1 point favorite here? To me, if they're playing like on an equal field, it should be like a pick 'em.
I'm telling you why it's -1, and it is because of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, or
Like-
even people. I know the
Or the
Chargers are
love
one
of
those
Justin Herbert.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. A lot of like the public and the sharps are like on Herbert like hella hard this year,
Mhm.
but it's another one of those situations like they're just over dramatizing it both ways. Like I personally don't really love Washington this year, but when they're only 1 points or one point favorite and they're at home
Mhm.
and their defense is so stout and kind of
Mhm.
like what you were saying, this is the first time we got fans. Like Herbert's traveling. I mean, you could even throw in the argument that they're like a 6-hour flight away, and they're on like different time zones and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, true.
Like, I just everything to me is just telling me to go with Washington.
Yeah, definitely.
So
And then you have a new coach who is defensive minded. He's only been a defensive coordinator, so you don't even know what kind of I forget who the offensive coordinator was, but you still don't know how the team's going to be ran. And this is a new offense that Herbert is probably getting acclimated to, so you don't know exactly how that's going to mesh perfectly. I don't know. It's year 2 for Ron Rivera, so
right,
I can only
and
imagine
that
things
was
are
kind of the
better.
other thing that I was hearing too is that Ron Rivera. I mean, he's a really good coach, and here we get like he's easily the best coach between the two teams, right? So how can you not take them here? I'm after this, I'm literally gonna bet on Washington. Like I don't even know why I haven't yet. So
Wow, I like Washington. We can go to the next one.
all right. So the next one here, Miles. I've already made my bets. I didn't wait for you anymore. I was like trying to get you to tell me something, but I already did it. I actually
What'd
like
you do?
2 bets here. So we have Vikings at Bengals. Once again, typical gambler week 1, just 101, right? We got the home team plus points. Another thing as well that we haven't really mentioned yet is a lot of these games normally go under on week 1. I'll let you kind of go off of this because I feel like you know a lot more on both of these teams than I do. I already took Bengals +3. I got him at like plus odds. It was like plus 105 when I took it. I think they win outright, probably honestly.
shit.
I don't think the Vikings are good this year, like at all. I think they're gonna go
Mhm.
like I haven't looked at their schedule or anything like that. I already bet on the Packers to win the division at like minus 160. Just because I don't think anyone in that division even gets close to them. And then I I just don't see it with the Vikings. Like I don't see what people see in them at all. Like
Okay.
some people are like, yeah, they're gonna make it to the playoffs. Like they could take it from the Packers this year, and I'm just like, what? Like I don't get it. Like you got Joe Burrow coming back. Y'all were in games last year. Like even if you lost, like you were, I still felt like y'all are always competitive.
Yes,
So I'm
except for a
taking
few
y'all at
games.
home plus the points. Another thing I like, and I'll let you kind of go off of that because I don't really know, but I think the under is like a move as well, just because I don't see much scoring here, but I'll let you
Okay, so
expand.
I think the hype behind Minnesota is pretty much the Danielle Hunter addition. So he was their defensive lineman. He can play inside or outside. Who he either got hurt or he opted out of last year. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's the 100% difference maker of why this team is going to supposedly be better. They did lose Anthony Harris, their starting strong safety or free safety, one of their safeties, to the Eagles. You had the addition. I think it's a name thing. They have Patrick Peterson in Minnesota, so that's good. The defense getting better. Mike Zimmerman, who's a former DC of Cincinnati before he went to Minnesota to be the head coach, he has this crazy defense of the two gap linebackers. So two linebackers stand above the opposing offense, their center, and they can do anything and everything from that position. Listening to Cincinnati Bengals head coach Zach Taylor talk today, he said like they are the best tandem linebackers in the game. Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks. So I think that's a lot where their hype is going. I think offensively is where their problem is going to be. Riley Reef, who was their starting left tackle for the past 10 years, is gone. And he's in Cincinnati. So that's already off rip, like a huge addition pro Cincinnati and against Minnesota. Losing your left tackle and then him now being in Cincinnati is also, that's really good off rip. There is going to be major regression of Justin Jefferson and what he was able to do last year. Like
Major, he's like primed to be like the number one receiver in
yeah,
yards this year.
It's like it can't. Well, he got 1,400 last year as a rookie or something
I
like
think
that.
he's like second or third, supposed to be the highest, receiving yards total this year.
Let me get into the meat potatoes of why I think the Bengals. I was gonna troll you. I was gonna say minus the Vikings. I hate myself. So, but whatever. I'm just gonna stand this thing out.
I knew after I
And it's 'cause-
texted you that there's no way you were gonna tell me Vikings. So I just already just bet it, and I didn't care what you had to say because I knew deep down that you're taking the Bengals here.
So
Because
I wanna.
when I guessed the spread on this was the most far away that I was on any game. Every other game I was like 1 to 2
This
points.
what? Yeah.
I guessed that the Bengals were favored here when I
Mhm.
guessed the spread, and they're
Yeah.
underdog, 3-point dogs, which is big. Like plus 155 to take y'all on a flyer to win the game is pretty nice.
So defensively, what we have done defensively is pretty remarkable. Like Chidobe Awuzie from the Cowboys, who has been lightening up in camp. I know this is all camp, reporter, local news crap, but the fact that our defense is 100%, no lie, better than it was last year, and the fact that we were still able to stay in the games, it says a lot. Even in preseason, I don't know what you want to take with preseason, but a lot of teams did not score on our first defense. I think we only gave up one touchdown all of preseason with our first defense, getting Trey Hendrickson from New Orleans, who was like the second sack leader last year.
All right, I'm back, boys.
Jamie, you missed your
Yeah, you
missed
missed
your
it, buddy.
chance, dude.
But I do
Aw.
want to be fair by saying, second year quarterback, you have Joe Burrow, horrible ACL injury, so you don't know if the rust is going to be there or not.
They weren't.
Um,
A lot of things that I've been hearing is they're not even saying that it's rust. They're saying that he's gonna play like scared.
Yeah,
That like
it's
you don't really
it's
know how because
you don't know. Yeah,
he hasn't even played in the preseason, right? I think he played like
he
they were
3
joking
plays.
about that he played 3 plays. Yeah,
No, it
it's
was
like, what
3
does
plays
that
exactly.
do?
It was 3
Right.
snaps just to get him out there, get him in the pregame warm-ups, make him feel like it was a real game. It was kind of ridiculous, but I think the way we win is in the trenches. I think our offensive line is better. Like I said, we got Riley Reef, who is an all-pro tackle. Like, he's good. Joe Mixon is back. He is healthy. Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, the Jamar Chase drops. Like, that's a thing. I get it. But I think it's going to be a power running game. And I think like I said, I'm not a big fan of the over-under things. I think under 47 is a bet that is definitely a hot one for sure.
Yeah, that was one thing that I wanted to talk to you about because just by looking at it, it feels like a pretty high total for 2 teams that you would think that kind of are more or can be defensive, I guess, or at least like I would say like a slower pace game.
Mhm.
Like you have a Kirk Cousins like game manager type quarterback, and then you have like a QB that's coming off of a huge injury, and then
Mhm.
both defenses are getting better.
Yeah,
So
this
to
is
me,
Dalvin
it's
Cook
like
versus Joe Mixon.
this is like a 24-20, right, game, and then like maybe I don't know which team wins, right? For like
yeah.
I would probably like even lean Bengals, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think I just think it's going to be a Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook show, and then highly competitive defensively, and then maybe a few big plays through play action to T. Higgins or other side Justin Jefferson. But
And then-
I will take +3.
And then
Bengals.
going off of your like preseason argument, it's like nothing, but it's also something. You have to take something from these week 1 spreads, right? Like you have to base it off of something. So when you're sitting there watching the Jaguars and they're not moving the ball at all, that's your only time where you're able to see Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence. So you're just sitting there being like, wow, this team really can't move the ball. And then like Jamar Chase, like he's not catching it. You're like, all right, well this guy probably is going to take a little bit longer to kind of, gel into himself.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of my thing. Another thing that you could really, and it just kind of, I don't even know what I think about teasers right now because I really haven't done many of them. But I mean, if you could take the Bengals up to like +10, and then you could tease it with the under to where it'd go to like 4 or 54. That to me would be.
Oh yeah, you're making money off that.
That would
easy.
like I don't see a world where like that doesn't hit.
Yeah.
So
That's
Hey.
easy money.
Hey, where's your channel at? I'm trying to tune in.
I'm on Twitch right now.
Oh, like legit.
Yeah, and then
Mhm.
we're gonna put it on YouTube.
Brent, you
probably.
there? Brent.
Oh yeah, Brent,
you
you're
here?
gonna miss your chance too, buddy.
Oh man, sorry, Brent. Well, I really wanted to talk to you about this one, Brent.
All right,
Here, can we go back
Bulls-
though?
Dude,
all right, Jamie,
on.
we'll give you
No,
1 minute.
listen, I just have a question. That's
We'll
all. I
give you
just
1
have a
minute
question.
for your Washington.
No, I don't have much to say. I just have a question on your guys' opinion.
Yeah.
The experts, the analysts here.
Yeah,
I have Herbert in 2 of my leagues, and he's playing Washington defense.
right.
So is this a sit or do you still play?
It depends
Like, what's
what
your?
your options are.
who's your
Uh,
quarterback?
I mean, I have Lawrence as the other one.
I would go
and
Lawrence over Herbert.
actually
Probably.
I actually have to pick up like maybe Fitzmagic or something, or like just for like
if I
a
were
quick
you, I
1
probably
game rental.
would not start Herbert.
I feel like
I think
Herbert's
you're
going to be
almost
shaken
better
up.
off
you know?
getting like a flyer off the free agents, like Baker
You think like
Mayfield or someone like that.
Because I think the top QB like on
Like
waiver
Matt Ryan,
is
is he
it's
available? Something like
yeah,
that.
I think he is.
Roethlisberger even would be.
I
like,
think
okay.
I think Ryan, Fitzmagic, and Ben are all on the board if I need a rental.
Right.
That's what I
Or
was
Teddy
thinking.
Bridgewater. You can get Teddy. He's going against New York, so that could.
Oh,
be
that's
one.
true. That's true. That could be a rental right there too. All right, thanks guys. I appreciate that advice.
Yeah. Just
Awesome,
feel free
thanks.
to give us questions in the
right.
chat.
I could
Just-
continue. Yeah. I'll talk to the chat now. Yeah, I'll
Oh,
mute.
yeah.
No
That's
no
keep,
problem.
keep it in the chat. All right.
All right, no
Um,
problem, dude.
So Eagles, Philadelphia at Atlanta. You
This
go
line
ahead.
has moved like exponentially, I think. Okay, we have Eagles at Falcons here. Falcons are at home, -3. The over/under's 48. I haven't bet this, but I'm leaning on two things, and I actually really like one thing. I'm leaning on Falcons -3. I think the Falcons are gonna be okay this year. I'll say okay because they were like bad last year. I think they have potential to go like 8-9 or 9-8 maybe.
Hmm.
And then the Eagles, I can't talk myself into them being good like at all.
Well, let's tell the whole story. Let's not sugarcoat why you can't talk yourself into the Eagles.
Oh, because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Oh yeah, I just want to, I just want to tell the whole story why you can't do it. So,
Okay.
all right.
Fair. Maybe I'm biased,
Yeah.
but I also think that Vegas is telling us that they think they're only going to win 5 games. So I'll just say that. I don't think they have a coach. We don't really know what Jalen Hurts is going to be. I think he's going to be a great fantasy quarterback. I'll say that much. I think he has a lot of potential to get, 40 rushing yards a game, touchdowns here and there. That was what I was going to say. I love the over in this game. I
Mhm.
think the Falcons are equally as terrible on defense as the Cowboys. And I think the Eagles have potential to score a lot of points. And I think Matt Ryan, with his weapons, can score a lot as well. So I think I'm gonna stay away from the game,
Mhm.
but I think I might put a little dabble of money on the over here, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I would just say my whole shebang is staying away. I would say Arthur Smith coming in from Tennessee, who's the new head coach. Nick Sirianni, who's from the blanket of Frank Wright, out in Indianapolis, is the head coach for the Eagles. Um, you don't really know who is going to outperform the other one. I'll take Arthur Smith. I'll take Matt Ryan over Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. I like the offensive players of Atlanta a little bit more. I couldn't tell you a player on defense right now for Atlanta off thinking
So
off
I don't know
rip.
if y'all remember the Falcons Cowboys game last year with the fiasco 48-45 or whatever it was, but both defenses just look silly out there. Um,
Oh yeah. So that
So I kind of see that in this game. Like I see it just being like a high score, silly, just interceptions everywhere, or just like bad gameplay. So just like
I
a
forgot. We
lot of
got
points is what I
we got
see.
Sammy here too. I forgot, so he's probably not gonna like this. But um, I mean Eagles fans, they love Jalen Hurts. I still have to take Falcons though. I don't I would it would just make more sense at home to go.
I think Jalen Hurts is just one of those guys, and he almost is like Wentz in a to say the least, just because he has a boom bust potential, right? He could be like a top 5 guy. He could be like the next Lamar Jackson. Not to like that, standpoint, but he could be really good, right?
Mhm.
Or he's just bad. Like the
He
fact
could
that
be
they're even
literally
like
terrible.
trying to trade for Watson, isn't that kind of like an opinion on like what they think of the guy, It's
100%.
kind of
Yeah,
like
because
going to our next game with like the whole Tua argument. When
mhm.
your team's like willingly trying to get rid of you, are you the guy? Is kind of like
Right.
what I think. So
Yeah, you have the Bengals and Chargers. They're not calling the Texans at all about Deshaun, but yeah, for sure. For the Eagles to still be in conversation, there's some. I think his name is Dan Howard. I don't know. I can't remember. So the Eagles GM. There's some distaste for
right,
Jalen Hurts there for sure.
right.
But
I
we can go
think
to the
that
next one.
right, yeah. I think I lean Falcons. I think we kind of agree on this one. I don't love it. There's a lot of uncertainty with the Eagles. We'll see how they turn out, but We'll go to the next one. Patriots Dolphins. A lot of
Oh no, I've been muted this whole
You
time.
literally
God,
just missed
Brent,
it.
both of you.
I'm
Just
telling you.
me and Miles are out here trying to do just the best
was
podcast
screaming
we
for
can.
you.
We got 2 people coming in here. They
Holy
want
moly.
to say something and then they both miss their chances. Like
No,
I
I
don't get
literally
it.
I listened to that whole thing and listened to what y'all were spewing out of your dumb asses.
Oh,
talking
here
about
we
the
go.
Eagles.
All right,
You
well,
literally have no
tell-
idea.
Tell us why the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
No, tell us. No,
Out
can
of
you?
the,
Are
out
you
of the
defending
people,
plus
out of
3?
the 70 people on YouTube that are going to watch the show, I
Trying
just wanted to
to-
say Brent Gray here predicted the Eagles, Nick Foles, to win the Super Bowl. He's a freaking NFL genius over here. So he's going to tell us why Jalen Hurts is going to be the next guy and why the Eagles are going to win the NFC East.
So I think I'm with most people in believing that the Eagles season could really go drastically different, just completely dependent on how Jalen Hurts plays. And I think based off of how much of a big competitor Hurts is, along with his work ethic, it leads me to believe that more likely than not, I really think he can succeed. And then, so if that's the case, what it really comes down to is how Nick Sirianni does, right? So I want to believe Nick Sirianni is going to be good. I think that's just really another unknown, but
Like what?
the,
Like you believe just because?
I mean, the
Like
fact
what-
that he learned under
what-
Frank
what
Reich,
is-
the fact that
okay.
he is willing to play to his player strength, everything that we've heard and seen from him so far, it gives me hope at least. So I think, and then apparently the defensive coordinator we got, Jonathan Gannon, who we also stole from the Colts, has been extremely impressive in interviews. Is going to run a hybrid defense. We have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL still. We have a pretty solid secondary with Slay and Steve Nelson. Our linebackers are kind of meh, but apparently Alex Singleton, who was the Canadian League leading tackler before we scooped him last year,
What are we talking about?
is looking really, really good, and apparently is primed to be a really good player this season. So, and we have Eric Wilson, who we got from the Vikings. So, I think our defense is actually going to be better than people think. I think Jalen Hurts is going to play better than people think. I think Devontae Smith is going to
Do you
give him
not
that
think that
security
people already
blanket.
think that Jalen Hurts is going to be like pretty decent though? Like I
I
feel like a lot
what
of
do you
people are
know?
picking him
A
up.
lot of people shit on him. Maybe in fantasy,
Okay.
people think he's going to be good fantasy because he runs the ball. But no,
Right.
I feel like everyone's shitting on him. His throwing ability, but one of the best things about his throwing ability is the deep ball. In college football, I'm pretty sure whenever he was at OU, he led the league in deep passing percentage. So, I mean, if he can just keep that up and have the big plays through the air along with the running game, like that right there gives you enough of an offense to be a contender, I think. So, honestly, I'm going to say it on the record. I think the Eagles win 10 games this year.
Oh my
Jesus
god,
Christ.
damn.
Well, I would say everything that I've heard regarding the Eagles, it's been
And we
alright,
shit on the
slightly-
Falcons. by
It's
the
been
way.
it's been
You shit on the
slight-
Falcons?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So 10 wins. You think 10 and 7. By the way, you know Vegas gives y'all like 5.5 wins this year.
You need to go
Yeah.
take that
So
mortgage out.
you are huge
Yeah,
on
take
your
the
team.
mortgage and you hammer over.
I was
that.
gonna
I'm,
say,
I'm extremely
you-
biased, but obviously, and I realize there is a
You're the
possibility
most
that we,
biased RF.
but
It-
probably, maybe.
you have to be because you're
What
the
if
only
we
one
get
that
10
predicts
wins
your
this year?
team winning way more wins than anyone else.
I think I can just see more clearly what my team's doing behind the scenes and the talent that people aren't recognizing. We have one of the best O-lines in the league. We have one of the best D-lines in the league. We have a top 10-ish running back. We have Devontae Smith, the Heisman
What?
winner.
What?
Like,
oh
we
my
have Dallas Goedert
god!
Jacket. What?
I'm
Well, like,
okay.
what
I'm
do y'all-
100% okay with offensive line, defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Pull.
You don't think Miles Sanders is top 10, like borderline top 10?
No.
Why?
I mean, I don't have a roster right here to really go over names off rip that I think are better than him, but top 10?
My favorite thing
I think
is
he's 10
to
to 15.
tell people to make a
Probably
list.
10 to 15.
Because this happens in basketball all the time when people say, "Oh, he's a top 10 player. Trae Young is a top 10 player." Oh, a top 10. All right, make your 10. That's all.
Yeah. Can you do a 10 to
I said
promote?
10-ish, bro.
we
he's
don't
probably
have to,
he's
we
probably
don't
like
have to do it
he's
now,
probably like
but
12,
I'd
13.
like to
But
see it.
I just want to say this before, because I do agree on the offensive line, defensive line. It's still
Mhm.
their defensive line is oldish pretty old,
Mm.
but they're still stout, 100%. I think you have your offensive line, Brandon Graham, Lane Johnson. Who's that? Who took Andre Dillard's spot?
Jordan Mailata is supposed to be a freak this
Yeah.
year. We have Brandon Brooks, one of the best guards in the league. We have Jason Kelsey, one of the best centers in the league.
Yeah,
Like you said, Lane Johnson's a top 5 right tackle.
No, I'm all on board there. The consensus of what I'm hearing, it's honestly not even Jalen Hurts, because I would say anyone that's really going at Jalen Hurts, it's kind of, I get it, but I don't like it in the same sense of like we don't know what he can be. Like he can be anything. The consensus of what I'm getting of your downfall is Nick Sirianni. Like I just hear people clowning him. Like I've heard that he's like,
all you saw were the very initial interviews, and you're just talking out of your butt.
No.
Clowning him?
This is not. I'm not looking at him do any interviews. I'll say off rip, I'm listening to PFF. I'm listening to other broadcasters just
Clowning him for what then?
They just don't think he's going to be a guy. They think it was like a hesitating, like, all right, Frank Wright, let's just get the wide receiver. What was the wide receivers coach in Indianapolis?
He was the OC.
Get him in. Oh, he's the OC. Okay, let's just get him in here because of Frank Wright. And like, I'll tell you this much: I don't have much juice of why he could be successful or could fail. I'm just saying the consensus of everything that I've been hearing over Jalen Hurts is that Nick Sirianni is not going to be anything. And
I think you could say the exact opposite of what you're saying and say he's going to be a god based off of what
but
evidence.
I haven't heard anyone.
Dixie.
But you're listening to people talking heads talk out of their ass for no reason. They have no proof and no, like, why do they think that?
Don't ask. I'm just.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm just
you're
saying.
drinking the Kool-Aid for.
No,
Get
I'm
out.
not
drinking the Kool-Aid the other way.
And
I'm
you
not
prove
saying
it this year.
I'm not saying I believe it. Like I'm saying, there's just a consensus of what I'm hearing, and it is Nick Sirianni. Don't say Miles. You're saying this. I'm saying what do you have to say about to other people, not Miles.
I don't give a shit what those people say.
No, okay.
Clowns.
That's a fan. That's a fan. So 10 wins for Eagles this year, and they're going to show.
Okay. I need to hear what's your prediction on Eagles Falcons like score.
Nah, I mean, shit on. I would say we win by more than 7. I guess would be shitting it on it in terms of like points.
So the over/under is 48. Do you think they go over or under that?
I think they go over. I think they go
That's what
over
I
that. I think it'll be a little higher scoring. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But you said you had a good defense.
I do think we have a pretty good defense, but they also have a pretty unknown offense with their new coach. So I mean,
yeah,
the unknown's always a little bit tougher to gauge.
I
playing
think
against.
y'all's ceiling is 10 wins, but I think reaching that is like it's going to be tough.
I think our biggest thing is staying healthy. If we stay healthy, I think 10 wins is like easily attainable. But
easily attainable.
If we stay healthy, yeah.
Damn, dude, that's pretty crazy. Dude, I can't. I'm saying it now we got 70 viewers out here. We have Brent Gray, #1 fan, all right? Greatest fan of it. Cuz let's just say this. Vegas, what did they give the Cowboys? 8.5, 9 wins this year, or like 9.5. I said we were gonna win 10, and I think I just got freaking railed by real fans. Oh, you're an idiot. You're the most biased fan, and I'm literally giving it like 0.5 wins higher than Vegas. And then we got Brent out here that's just predicting a 5-win differential, and then his brother Colin is out here saying that, and which a lot of sharps are actually saying that, but like he's like 12-5 or whatever. Damn, that's just crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I see the potential, and I just don't really understand what everybody else is looking. Like you said, it all comes down to Sirianni because the talent on the roster is there. I think.
I think you're like.
I think people are underrating our roster heavily. I don't know why, but they are.
It could be that thing. It could be that thing of people are shitting on it too much to where it's like, all right, we're not that bad.
Right. Well,
see, right. I think I'm annoyed with how bad people think we're gonna be. That is just like makes me feel like I think we're gonna be really fucking good, kind of thing.
Yeah. I think y'all are gonna win like 5 to 6 games. I think a lot of people think that. I've even seen some people
Yeah,
saying
I know
that y'all are
most
gonna
people.
win
I know
like
most
3.
Right. The consensus is the Eagles are going to be bad this year, like a top
Right.
bottom 5 team. But
Right.
I think that's very
Yeah, I mean,
extremely
you said it, right? It depends on your coach and your
misguided.
quarterback.
Yeah.
And I kind of said it earlier. I don't know if you were here and muted or whatever, but if Jalen Hurts is Lamar Jackson, maybe you win 10 games. So we'll say that. Yeah, I'm giving y'all like 5-12 or like 6-11. This game, I honestly think that y'all could pull it off. The only thing that I'm gonna bet is that it's an over, and that's it. So
Yeah, that's fair.
we'll go to the next one. That was fun to hear.
That was
I'm
a- that was
all
a-
in for that.
You love it, dude.
I
I'm
hate
ready.
it. I hate it.
Mills, you're a bitch.
All right.
Yeah.
Dolphins, Patriots.
We got
Hello?
Dolphins, Patriots. 3 points. Favorite Patriots. The over/under is 43.5. It may have moved from like 45 to 43.5 or something like that, which was one thing that I really did like. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. What do you think, Mills?
I like Patriots.
I was
Easy.
gonna say I'm very torn on this game. I've been so back and forth between the
I'm
two.
not torn at all.
I do like the
Nope.
under. I see an under in like all circumstances here. One thing I was gonna do, once again with the whole teaser thing, I was gonna tease Dolphins to +10 and then tease the under to 50.5, just because
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be like a close like defensive game. But go ahead and speak on your Patriots fandom.
Okay, so you got the beautiful addition of Matthew Judon out of Baltimore. Before we even get into, I mean, you got Stephon Gilmore's not going to be there. Okay, we get it. One thing that we love is Bill Belichick being able to completely take away the best thing that a quarterback can do. Tua has been all over the place with people liking him, not liking him. Supposedly he's doing really well in camp right now. I think he is going to be the next Josh Rosen of like
Yeah,
the
I can
guy.
see that.
He's going to be get passed around like a blunt, like passed around like a whore. Like he's not gonna. He won't be in Miami next year.
Now thinking about it, it's actually crazy how many teams Josh Rosen has already been on. Like,
Oh,
think
it's
about
sad.
like 3 years ago or whatever. Like, it's
It's not
wild to
fair.
think about.
It's not fair. Like, I don't think
So-
any quarterback should be.
Yeah, going off of the last discussion with the Eagles trying to trade for Watson, whatever. Kind of the same thing with the Dolphins, right? Isn't it kind of scary to be on that team and be like, "Yo, you're not that guy."
You're not that guy. Yeah,
Right.
and it's like I think the Dolphins are actually like number one in that whole trade like conversation.
Yeah,
I
they
think
are.
they're like
Yeah.
they're number
I think
one.
the trade would have already happened if it wasn't for
The allegations.
the
and stuff.
allegations.
But
Whether they be true or not.
I would I don't want to talk about Mac Jones, but I do think Mac Jones is going to be somewhat of a better game manager. I have this whole spiel about left-handed quarterbacks. I don't like them at all. I think Tua still
He-
fits in that.
Wasn't he the most like ready player? Like most pro NFL ready?
Mac
of
Jones.
all the quarterbacks? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the rookies this past season, this preseason, he seems like he's the one that's like ready to go. Of course, he beat out Cam Newton for the starting job. You can say whatever you want about COVID. Like supposedly Mac Jones had that on lock. I heard that. I don't know if it's true or not. I hate repeating it, but I heard Mac Jones was teaching Cam the playbook. Could be a lie.
I
Could
think
be
I
true.
did read that actually, or saw like a headline about that.
Yeah, something along those lines. So I think Mac Jones is going to be a guy who's going to be able to just not throw turnovers.
Rookie of the year?
Right.
Or offensive rookie of the year?
Sure. I mean, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm too biased. I don't like the kid, but I'm still taking Patriots.
Wait, you don't like who? Mac Jones?
Yeah, I don't like him.
Like as a person?
I'm sure he's a good guy, but I like Cam Newton. I'm biased, like I said.
Because of Cam.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
I still think they win. I think defensively the Patriots are gonna be able to
they
just
have to have like a
freeze
top
up
5
to
to 10 defense, right?
yeah. I can't Hightower.
They got Hightower back. I can't remember his freaking first name. But yeah, I think defensively they're gonna be pretty good, and so I think they're gonna be able to give Tua some.
What's
Some
your
trouble.
score prediction here?
I think it'll be like I think it'll be a running game. I think it'll be 24-10, 24
I was
Patriots.
gonna say
10.
like 20-17, probably like Patriots. I really don't know.
I'm really down. I would say I'm super down on Tua. Like I think he's that
Yeah,
bad.
I think he did pretty bad last year, honestly,
He did really bad.
or at least in the sense of like throwing the ball.
Which
He
is
has weapons now,
huge.
but yeah, I kind of agree with you because I remember somebody asked the question in our group text like who's gonna be the guy between like Herbert, Burrow, and Tua, because in the beginning of the season it was kind of a flip, like no one really knew.
Oh, and then it
But
became
yeah,
a
I
very
mean,
good
I think
player at
he
the end.
definitely has like the highest bust potential of everybody. Yeah, I probably agree with you with the Patriots, but like I don't know. Yeah, probably with like Belichick and all that. The only thing that really scares me is just that they have like a rookie QB out there.
And you have the thing is the whole gang's together, right? Mac Patricia, he's back. Defensive coordinator who is in Detroit, he's back. Okay, and then you have Josh McDaniels, of course, still there. Like the coaching staff wise, everyone's back, and so it's like they're not gonna like things should mesh pretty well.
Mhm.
Like I said, the only thing is losing Stephon Gilmore. I don't know if Brent's still here, but who's the corner? There's a corner that they have. The Patriots have a young corner who's a beast. But anyways,
Yeah,
I take
I mean
Patriots.
Bill Belichick has a history of embarrassing like young QBs, so I can definitely see it, especially with the amount of like time that they've had to kind of prep for this game. I could
Mhm.
definitely see the Patriots kind of stomping them.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I think it's just going to be like a lot of running, a lot of handoffing. But yeah, I would say like 2017 Patriots win, something like that. Um, all right, we can go to the next game. Browns Chiefs. I have a pretty high opinion on the Chiefs here, which might be different from you.
Okay.
Um, so I saw this stat that Patrick Mahomes has 32 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in September.
Oh God.
That alone just like makes me think the Chiefs are gonna just easily win this.
Yeah.
Oh, Hack's
Let's
in the chat. Hack is in the chat. Hello,
let's
Hack.
let's 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 talk about real quick what we were talking about earlier with the Steelers and what we were talking about with the Bills and these teams that get a lot of hype, get a
Would you not
lot of hype,
would you
get a
not think
lot
the
of love.
Browns are that team too though?
I would say we off rip. Remember when Baker the second year Baker was there? Like we all thought year two Baker was going to pop off.
Mhm.
Everybody was on the Browns and they disappointed. I really genuinely think, even though that team, it is impossible to think that team's going to fail. Like, defensively, they're nasty all over. Offensively, they're nasty all over to where it's like you're really banking on Baker.
Baker really has like the easiest job of like all the
100%
quarterbacks, right?
over the Chiefs, probably over the Bucks,
In the
maybe.
sense of like a roster, they probably have like easily a top 3 roster.
I love how the Chiefs start their freaking seasons,
Oh,
man.
so you're
It's
on the Chiefs then.
5.5 ease mode, man. Like
Okay.
I think they getting Orlando Brown to play left tackle from Baltimore. That's huge. I think they kept Mitchell Schwartz. I think he's the right tackle. I can't. I'm all over the place with that. But yeah, 5.5. I don't know, man. I think the Chiefs were really bad with their spreads last year, if I remember. I think people kept like closing their spreads.
You
But
could
I
be
do
right on
believe
that.
I think that's what I remember about them. Like
I
look
think
at
I think
Peyton.
they're just a team that is really good in September kind of deal.
I think
You have a
we
huge, like, or I wouldn't say huge, but definitely have a coach difference. You have another thing too that can't be really taken lightly is the Chiefs were like playing during the preseason.
oh
Like
yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's going to be any like rust with them,
Yeah.
right?
They're gonna that's what I'm saying. Like they're
And
pissed.
yeah, right, exactly what you said. They weirdly have something to prove.
Yeah,
Like they
Travis
got like
Kelce
murdered in the Super Bowl, like
Travis
badly.
Travis Kelsey was on the Pat McAfee show and he was just saying how like off rip like they're pissed of how that's how they said they were embarrassed.
Hmm.
So a team that's super cocky, super confident, super like we're gonna put like for them to come out and they're like we got embarrassed. I think they're gonna go for that 17-0 stretch. So I think because this is the thing, right? Browns are a running team first,
Hmm.
to where if the Chiefs can come out and put up 14 on their heads early, and now we're forcing
To throw.
Baker to throw the ball more, maybe get in some trouble, and then it's 21-0. Like it has a chance to get out of hand really quick.
I could totally see that and it being like the talk of next week. Like
Exactly. Everyone's gonna be saying Odell
Brown.
Baker.
I can totally
Like, is
see
this the
freaking
problem?
Colin Cowherd already like
Yeah, shitting on
headline of
Odell
YouTube
for whatever.
like
100%.
Browns question mark. But yeah,
Mhm,
I mean,
Baker.
I
mhm.
definitely think that the Browns have like a pretty low chance of like busting just because of like how great their roster is. But just the Chiefs, man, like it's just how can you bet against like Mahomes right now with like
Mhm.
how they like showed up in the Super Bowl. That over, I did not realize it was that high. 54 and a half. Like that's huge.
You
That's
just know
the
how
biggest.
the Chiefs score like
Right,
crazy.
right. Kind of what you were saying. I could totally see them just like first two drives, just like
It could be 21-0
freaking
with like
Tyreek
5 minutes left
80-yard
in the first.
touchdown, like
Exactly.
immediately. Yeah,
Mhm.
I could see it. Yeah, I'm staying away from that, but I honestly like the spread at 5.5. I thought for some reason you were going to be opposite, but it seems like we agree on that. I know I posted that parlay and you saw it, but I'm feeling pretty good about all those teams, man. Like I don't see any of them losing. Kind of what I said. Like I don't see the Cowboys winning at all. Even here, like I don't even see the Browns like winning this game. Maybe like a 20% chance that they do, probably.
I mean, they could, but I'm just not. I can't.
I just see so many more situations where like the Chiefs
I'm
pull
not
this
betting
out.
against the Chiefs.
Right.
I'm not betting against the Chiefs. I'm not betting against the Chiefs. So.
All right. Well, we'll go to the next one. This is like by far my favorite, like almost maybe ever spread.
Oh
Ever?
gosh.
Maybe
That's-
ever all
that's-
time. Like no cap.
Mm,
I
that's nuts.
If it's really a 3.5 right now, all right. We have Packers at Saints. Not even.
This
at
tells you
Saints.
something, though. Doesn't that tell you something? Like the fact that you truly believe that it should
That Aaron
be
Rodgers
worse.
is like a freaking like Jeopardy host now or something.
Eh,
That would probably be like the only thing. I'd be like, all right, like he's retiring. Like he's.
I
done.
think the
You're right. Maybe
huge knock.
the only thing is that it's so like I just want to just absorb it so hard that like that alone Vegas is just like lolling at me and they have this some inside information that like Aaron Jones gave COVID to his entire football team and like I'm just completely unaware.
No, it's not even. Jameis Winston isn't a bad quarterback.
I'm not even saying that, but like
But I think
I'm
that's
even-
all it
I'm
is. It's
even-
narrative.
I'm looking at like Jameis being like a top like 10 guy, and I still don't even see where they win here.
I think
If you
I don't
put
think
like
it's all narrative. He
if
threw
you
30
put Dak
interceptions.
Prescott on the Saints right
Shut up.
now, do you really think that like they win this game?
wait. What'd you just say?
If you put Dak Prescott on the Saints, do you think the Saints win?
Man, I'm too biased. I would say
Okay, not Dak.
I'd
I'm
rather
trying to
have
think of like a
Prescott.
top, like a good, like a real, like Stafford. If you put,
I'm not
Stafford-
saying win. I'm just saying 3.5. It's
Okay.
I just don't think it's crazy. Just to hear you say it's your favorite of all time is
Yeah,
just
it is.
it's nuts to me.
Okay.
I don't
okay,
think
all
it's
right, all right.
that grand
I,
at
I,
all.
I put
I think that's kind of fair. Yeah.
I put 5 points. I'm gonna try to remember all of them. One is like the Packers were good last year. They lost 2 games to the Bucks, and then like outside of that, there were like 13-2 against the rest of the schedule. So I think people are with the whole like Aaron Rodgers debacle all off season, like that's just like molding through people's heads that they're not like an amazing football team, like easily top 5 team this year.
Hmm.
So I have that going. Like Aaron Rodgers to me is like one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. So we have that. And then the Saints, no Michael Thomas, which I think is like kind of a big deal. This is no, I'm not sitting here like hating on Jameis by any means. Like, I definitely think he kind of has like a boom bust potential for sure. But I think like Drew Brees, like not being on that team, I think has a huge factor on their like I just feel that they're more of like a rebuilding team than they are like a contender is like what I see. Like I think losing Breeze and like just they like the Saints are the only reason they're even relevant is because of Drew Brees is like what I actually believe. And so when you get rid of him, I just don't see them competing at all. Um, I'm probably like the like lowest on the Saints of like anybody because I think they're gonna go like 7-10 this year. Um, I think they're a rebuild team. I even think like losing Latavius Murray was like low key something, or at least like it's at least saying something.
Hmm.
So yeah, no Michael Thomas, no Murray, no Breeze. Like once again, I'm not hating on Jameis. I'm just saying, like you're just losing your like aura, kind of. Um, Dude, they haven't practiced like in their home. They haven't been in their homes for like 2 to 3 weeks. Like I think that's a big deal. All the traveling. You don't really know how they're like game planning for the Packers. They're not even playing in the stadium.
I mean, it's a
We'll
neutral.
say
It's
this.
neutral, so
Right.
that
So
doesn't matter.
going off of that argument too, right? This line has barely moved at all after they announced that they're not playing in the Saints. The one thing that you could even say is be like, yo, those fans are crazy. That's going to be super loud, super packed. And now they don't even have that anymore, which that alone to me is like a 3 to 4 point like move in the line. And it's moved like 1 point. And to me, like I was in that stadium. Those fans are like crazy. Like easily like the best fans ever. And so now you're moving all of that to Jacksonville, and they're losing their one benefit
So
that they had.
why didn't the line change more?
I don't know.
That's the thing that's like every year we have something that's just like, how the fuck did that happen? Like the Saints can win this game. I think you think they can't win this game.
I think they win like 10 to 15% chance.
This is the last thing I want to say. This spread, like I just want you to understand that this spread could be beautifully made because the Packers are that good, but I don't want it to be seen as the Saints are that bad. Like
I don't even think I'm like saying the Saints are bad. I think I'm just saying that they're like not going to be the same. Like we just don't really know what they are anymore. Is kind of like how I see it. And I'm seeing the Packers as like a really good. They're almost like the Chiefs to me. Like I see them like almost as the Chiefs. So when you're only giving me like a field goal on a neutral field against like a mediocre team, that just like screams Packers. I've taken like 3. I've actually bought a point down and like taken them at 3. And then I've taken them at 7, -7, which was like plus 130. I think they win like 7 to 10 points. I don't know what to think of Jameis. I don't really like him. I think he's like, I mean, I didn't want to like compare him to Cam. He's better than Cam, but
it's nothing like Cam at all.
no, I was just saying in the sense of like the first number 1 pick, like kind of potential kind of deal.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say their gameplays are this like same, but I'm just trying to say like, they have like the potential to be great, right? Yeah, I mean, I think Sean Payton's a great coach. We don't really know how
The
Jameis
defense
is
is
going to
still
do.
good.
Yeah,
Like
for
I've
sure.
told
No,
you.
I get it. Outside of like my 5 points that I made, I'm just it's all on like visual. I'm just like I can just see the Packers just like winning this game easily.
All right. Go to the
I
next.
mean, man, I just really can't see the Saints winning, man. What do
That's
you
the
think they're
beauty.
gonna go this year? You thought like 9-8 or something?
I think they'll
Like,
within
does
their
the
own
Michael
division.
Thomas thing not scare you? Like, do you think if Drew Brees
Receiver
was
receiver
here?
doesn't receiver matters. I'm not gonna say it doesn't,
Yeah.
but I really think of it as like what the Browns were last year when they lost Odell. You just run the ball. Like the Saints still have a good offensive line. You still
Doesn't
have
losing
Alvin
Bree kind
Kamara.
of like at least scare you a little bit?
I mean,
I feel like he was still like a pretty
this is what you have to think. Like they asked him to, lower your paycheck. He said no. They cut him. They get rid of him. Like when you tell someone to lower the money, it's because hey, we don't think you're that valuable anymore because we have this running back here who's been performing this well.
Mhm.
Can you lower your money? No? All right. See ya. We feel confident that we have this backup running back that
What's
can
his
do
name?
just as well as you, Ty Jones or Taylor Jones, Trey Jones. I don't know, T Jones,
It's Tony.
what
He's a
Tony Jones,
fucking god.
whatever it is. We feel some type of way about him. Alvin Kamara is usually pretty freaking healthy. We'll just take him. Like,
No, I mean, I'll put it this way that once again, I think this is like the easiest line of all time. And the only thing that's holding me back from just putting insane amount of money on this is that like I think I like it too much and there's just like something I don't know.
Yeah.
Because to me it should be like a 7-point spread because it's at like a neutral field and I mean I think the Saints are average. Like I think I would have them like around like the Dolphins probably.
I would
That's
say
what I think. And then I think the
I
Packers are like a top 3 team, honestly. I would say it's like the Chiefs and the Packers and the Bucks. Those are probably like my 3 favorite teams this year.
I would just say the Saints are going to be. I think they're just going to be better than what people think. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then yeah, I mean we don't know what to come of Jameis. Like I think he could just be the same guy he used to be, right? He could
I mean,
some
you have
insane
Sean
plays, and then
Payton.
he
Sean
could-
Payton. He was under Drew Brees for a season, if not two. No, just one season. Sean Payton can probably hone in on him a little bit better than Bruce Arians. I
definitely agree with that. I totally get the argument with like Sean Payton being
Let me ask
his
you this.
coach.
Let me ask you this, and we can go into the next game.
Yeah.
Drew Brees is starting this game. What are your thoughts?
Oh man. I mean, I think the line is still around the same. I don't even know if it's in the sense of like it being different. I just think they're like moving their entire. It's almost like the Spurs to me, right? Like you're losing Tim Duncan, so like you're not the same. That's all I can like describe. Like I don't know the name for it or like the correct verbiage for this, but I think their chemistry is just like gonna be off. Like Breeze not being there is just like
Morale wise,
yeah, I don't even know if it's
not
like
there.
morale. It's just like the team
Identity.
right? The identity is just gonna be like completely different, and I think that alone is like huge. Like imagine like having a guy at QB for like 20 years and then or like however long, like 15 years. And then all of a sudden he's just gone. And now you got this freaking Jameis Winston coming in here like acting a fool and now he's like your leader, right?
Teddy's acting a fool.
It's just it's his personality. He's like a troll, right? Like it's just completely different. Like you have here Drew Brees, the like head down guy, like try hard. and then you're over here, and I'm not like hating on him, but it's just like completely different. You have like the jokester guy, right, as
Mhm.
your leader. So like to
All right.
me, week 1, I'm rolling with my dude Aaron Rodgers against like the guy who hasn't started in a game for 2 to 3 years. That's just like how I envision. And I'm huge on QB. So like that's something that I'll say about like almost every game. I think QB is like a huge deal. So when I see the two guys, I'm like, all right, here's Jameis and then here's Aaron Rodgers. Who do I trust to win? I trust Aaron Rodgers. That's what I see.
All right.
I mean, do you think the Packers win by 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Because like I'm assuming you still at least think the Packers will win. You just
No. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You just kind
Yeah.
of like don't know. You might just be like, all right, 3.5's like too much to swallow, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. See, and that's the thing. Like the fact that it's like it's a neutral field now. I think the line should have moved like 4 points, and it's not. It just doesn't. That stadium is so crazy that that alone should be like, all right, they don't have the fans anymore, because that was the one thing going for them, and now they
Mhm.
don't. So now I think they should be like 7-point favorites, and they're just not. So maybe I don't understand, but this is that line and like the Bengals line were the two that I was just like, all right, something's weird. So we'll continue. Let's just say that I'm putting some definite cash on the Packers there, and we'll see what happens. Broncos Giants over under 42. I've already hammered this line a while ago. I don't know how I feel about it anymore, but what do you think?
You say the over under or just the
I've done
spread?
like 2 things already, which it appears the line has moved a lot both ways, or not a lot, but I took the Broncos
Um.
-1, so they were only 1-point favorites, and
Yeah.
then I took the under, which was like I think it was like 43.5. I could be wrong, but I'm kind of seeing that like Patriots Dolphins vibe where it's like 2 like mediocre QBs with like some good defense, and like I'm just not seeing a whole lot of scoring. And I took this I
Mm,
don't know if I was like overreacting, but like I was watching the preseason, the Broncos looked pretty good. Y'all were kind of like, I think that was like something I was kind of swallowing, right? Like you and Pierce were like talking up the Broncos. So I was like, all right, like maybe I'm like not seeing something or understanding. So then I was watching the preseason. I'm like, all right, these guys look pretty good. And then there was some like rumbles within the Giants organization where like they weren't seeing eye to eye with their coach. Like their coach was like making them run like suicides, and there was like fighting, and then like Joe Looney just like bounced, and I'm like, all right, there's way too much going on there. I think Colin
mhm,
Cowherd kind of said it. He was like, whenever you're hearing like a lot within an organization, it's not like a positive thing. Like
mhm,
you shouldn't be hearing things. That's kind of what he says about like the Cowboys, right? Like a lot of things are coming out. He even predicted the whole Cam Newton thing because he's like they're trying to tell you something with Cam Newton. Like something's going on when they're saying, oh, he's not showing up, or the whole like COVID thing, whatever. And then like they release him. So I think there was just like a lot. Like I was just hearing way too much about the Giants, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna throw some money on the Broncos. So I took Broncos -1 at 3. It's kind of heavy. I don't know how I feel anymore. And then I took the under. I think it's going to be like 20-17 once again, Broncos. So
So I'm gonna say
no Saquon potentially, or at least like a snap count kind of deal. So
I think this is the first season where Bradley Chubb, I think he missed most of the season, his rookie season, and then last year Von Miller missed the season with the Achilles. This is going to be the first season where both Von Miller and Bradley Chubb are going to be playing together.
mm-hmm.
And then you have Patrick Surtain, who had a camp like he is just everything, and he's perfect.
Judy.
It's a really good defensive team for the Broncos. Giants showed at the back at the end of the season last year that their defense was coming along for sure. Like defensively, they were really shocking and surprising a lot of people with Bradbury, their corner. Like they were even Jabril Peppers. He was doing some nice
Julius
things.
Peppers, baby.
Offensively, though, completely different organizations. Like you said, both of them are mediocre. I would say Teddy Bridgewater is okay, and Danny Dimes is bad. Like is just bad at football.
I think it's funny
Mhm.
because he's like the only QB that I like forget his name. And I think
I
that's like
literally I said Dimes because I cannot remember his last name.
I was thinking about that. I was like, he's like the one guy
Jones.
that I like stumble and like
Yeah.
forget his name. And
Daniel
that
Jones.
alone is like
Not
I
good.
watched that play that he had last year where he ran like 80 yards and fell
And he
over.
fell. Yes.
And I like couldn't think of
against
what his
the
name
Eagles.
was. I'm like, this is sad. Like this is sad.
Mhm.
I don't know his name. And I mean that alone should tell you something, right? Like you don't even know the dude. So
Yeah. You have and like to go on the Broncos. I mean, look, you got Javonte, was it Javonte Williams from North Carolina. You got Melvin Gordon. You got Jerry Jeudy. You got KJ Hamler. You got Cortland Sutton. You got Noah Fant. Like it is a spew of weapons, and all Teddy has to do is not fuck it up. Like I feel like the game plan is a lot easier for Teddy than it is Daniel Jones. I love that -3. I think it should be at -5.5, but I think they're giving +3 because they're at home. Like it's only
Mhm.
3 because the Giants are at home. But Danny Dimes is a quarterback that I don't even think he has the fans in that stadium. The offensive line is garbage still for the Giants.
now that I think about it, the line would be like -9 if it were in Denver.
If
That's
we're in
pretty
Denver,
wild.
it'd be up there. Yeah, for sure.
That's
It'd
pretty
be
crazy to think about actually, because usually it'll go 6 points the other way. So 9 points is pretty crazy.
yeah. I like Denver going
But
in
yeah,
there.
I've heard
beat
a
'em.
little rumbles that like the Giants could be something this year. I don't see it at all. I think they're gonna be bad. They're gonna be 7-10. Um, I don't like them. Like I said, I'm seeing a lot of Twitter or a lot of like fighting at their practice, and I don't know. I just think that's like not good. There's just
Mhm.
I'm hearing too much. I don't like it. Um, like you said, I think the Broncos just overall have a better roster.
Oh, top to bottom, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
like easily better. And Teddy's like a pretty good like gambling QB. I kind of saw something about that he's like good against the spread. Um, and then the Giants on the unders, they were like 13-3 last year. I think the Giants averaged only like 17 points last year or something like that, and then their opponents averaged like 20. So if you like, you should literally go through their schedule last year and like look at how low the scores were. It's pretty crazy. So I'm taking I already took the under and I took Broncos -1. I'm glad I took it. I think one thing that I'm realizing this year is you need to take the spreads like right when they come out because
Mhm.
most of the time they're always going to go in your favor. Like you're going to know something. I kind of noticed that in the preseason when I was gambling, and that's the preseason, but the lines were moving. Like some of them would go like 6 points. They're just moving all over the place. So right when I started thinking about it, I was like, all right, there's a reason why I like the Broncos, and then of course it moved like 2 points. I think I agree with you with 3. If it went like 3.5, I probably wouldn't like it anymore. But yeah, there's definitely some agreements there. All right, Rams Bears Sunday Night Football. Um, Bears at Rams. 7.5, 46.5 over under.
This is a bait. This is a Vegas bait.
So
I'm
yeah,
telling you, dude.
I'll say this. I think Stafford is gonna have like a freak year, which is like a once again novice like NFL opinion because a lot of the sharps like don't actually agree with me because they think that the Lions should have been better, which I don't really necessarily agree with that, but a lot of people were just saying that Stafford with his like they kind of compared him to like Andrew Luck, right? You see Andrew Luck, he's like somehow making the Colts go to the playoffs, and we just haven't seen that from Stafford. Like just straight up, just hard carry.
Mhm.
I think he's an upgrade from Goff.
Easily.
I took Stafford on the passing yards over, which is like I'm literally talking out of my ass. I think it was like 4,500 or something like that over.
Mhm.
Because basically, if you compare it, it's like he just has to put up Goff numbers, which I'm like, yeah, he'll put that up. But 7.5, I don't know. I'm just gonna stay away. I bet them on the money line. I'm not
I'm
taking.
easily taking the Bears plus 7.5.
See, I wouldn't. I would like lean Bears.
You
I
know
think
where I'm at with the Rams. You know where I'm at with
I know.
Matthew
I know.
Stafford.
Yeah.
I am they're my, Super Bowl, like they're my number one team
Okay,
over.
before just before I forget this, I don't know if you're watching my stream, but they already have the line out for week 2 on the fucking Washington. They're only 3-point favorites over the Giants. Is that not like a hammer already?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a hammer.
They're only 3-point favorites. Okay, whatever. I just saw
Uh,
that and I was like, before I forget, I just need to tell you that.
Bears need to this home. Okay, Rams. All right. Like I feel like LA. I feel like Los Angeles. Unless you're at a Laker game, it doesn't fucking matter. That's how I feel, honestly. Second, the Bears have a good defense still. They still have a competent defense. Like they still have Khalil Mack. It's got Eddie Jackson in the secondary. Like they're still pretty good. Roquan Smith. Like they're still good defensively. Offensively, Darnell Mooney, who was a guy that was coming up, like people really liked him. And Mitch and Nick Foles couldn't get him the damn ball. Of course, you have Allen Robinson, who's still there. People are talking about Cole
Do you
Kmet,
think
whatever.
Dalton is an upgrade or
Dalton is 100% an upgrade
Okay.
between Nick Foles and Dalton. What he even did in Dallas last year, it would have looked a lot better if you just had any of your starting offensive linemen like help him out.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, all he needs, he's not gonna, I'm not saying he's gonna win the division or anything, but he is competent enough to not fuck it up.
Well,
Like,
I think he's gonna get removed a few weeks into the season. I don't know when, but I just
if
I think Fields just has way more upside and like the Bears aren't gonna win the Super Bowl with Dalton, so like why are they even doing this?
no,
I kind of
I
agree with it, like not to put him in against the Rams. Like obviously
mhm.
he's young and he still needs some time. But yeah, I mean I lean Bears here. I'm not taking it, but you can.
That is a no, that is a Vegas, because what like the news coming out of camp for the Rams, like it's just all gorgeous. And
Who so I actually have Rams on a few parlays that I made. I actually told Ross because he asked me. I was like, I think Rams are going to be like the easiest win here probably, but I'm not too sure. Who do you think wins that division?
for the
AFC
West,
or NFC West?
it's I'm not going against the Rams in
So you
anything.
think Rams?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
So
just no way.
they're like plus 190 to win the division, which I kind of like. So you might,
Yeah.
I would just say like peek at that before the season starts because
Yeah.
I might take it.
The only downgrade that the only downgrade that they have is of course Cam Akers being out, and then losing Brandon Staley to the Chargers, their defensive coordinator. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Rams are just going to be like, I don't want to say like a night and day difference, but it's a huge upgrade.
100%.
Like if Goff can take that team to the Super Bowl, then like you put in, I don't know, I'm saying Stafford's like a top 5 guy or whatever, but like Goff is like a barely starting quarterback, right? And then here you go with like a top 10 to 15 guy. Yeah, I think the Rams are going to be good this year, but yeah, that spread is too high. Laying like 7.5 just like scares me, just like anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like week 1, you don't really know what's going to happen, and yeah, do the Rams really even have that big of like a home field advantage here? And then you're bringing in a guy like Dalton who he you know what he is, right?
He's
not,
he's. I
not
think
gonna
he's
just, like,
slightly
choke
better.
games.
I think he's slightly better than Fitzpatrick. Slightly.
I'd rather have Fitzpatrick.
Rather
I
have
was
is
sad
not
when we
what
got
I'm
rid
saying.
of him, though, for sure. But
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying rather have. I'm saying like he's not going to make. I think mechanically and in the mode of like him being safe, he's a safe quarterback.
mhm.
He's not. You're not going to have as many interceptions. I like Andy Dalton slightly better than Fitzpatrick.
All right.
If Fitzpatrick's in Chicago, that line looks. No, I probably wouldn't. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying Bears are gonna be a team that people are writing off. I think they'll shock people for sure.
We'll say this: you think the Bears are going to be a good spread team to bet potentially?
Yes, 100%.
Especially with like how good their defense is, right? Like with a team with such a good defense, it's kind of hard seeing them just like getting slaughtered. So
Yeah, you can't.
I see that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Next one, last game Monday Night Football. Ravens at Raiders, 4 points. I made that little parlay. I almost put the Ravens in there, but I don't know how I feel about the Ravens really. 50.5 is the total, which is like kind of high, I think, but maybe not. I think I would lean Ravens here on the -4 just because I think they are like a really good regular season team. But I don't know. I'm like pretty up in the air on this one.
I am biased. I'll say it. I'll start by saying that
Bias for the Ravens.
against them. I mean, just
against
because
them,
I'm.
okay. Because you're a Bengals fan.
+4 Raiders in that new stadium. It's a new badass stadium. It's an amazing, beautiful stadium that literally towers over Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be packed out for sure. I still have worries about Lamar Jackson and his throwing capabilities.
Mhm.
Like he's progressively getting
They
worse.
don't really have weapons either.
Rashad Bateman's gone, or not. He's not gonna be playing at least.
Who's
He
even their like
lost.
number one receiver?
It's
I really don't
Marquise.
even
It's still Hollywood bound. Marquise Brown,
know.
and then you have Mark
their
Andrews,
running
their
back.
tight end. You lost J.K. Dobbins. You lost Matthew Judon. You still have an amazing secondary, for sure. Not taking that away. But +4
At home.
at home.
It's kind of one of those things that we've kind of, trailed with all the way down these spreads is like the Raiders are like a pretty okay team, right? And then you're gonna like have 4 points in it, like a brand new stadium Monday Night Football type vibe.
Mm-hmm. Like
I was going to put Ravens in my parlay, and I took them out just because I don't know how to read them. They're so hard to read. They're one of those teams that I can totally see them just winning this like 38 to like 10. And then everyone just being like, "Wow, the Ravens are freaking crazy." But like they're not. I don't know. They're just so weird to me.
this is the third year for Lamar. Like this could be the year where people are like, quote unquote, figure them out. Oh, they lost Orlando Brown, their tackle. That's huge. They lost Orlando Brown, their tackle. Like I said, lost some key pass rushers on defense. I think this could be. Remember, we talk about those teams. You said there's 4 teams that don't make the playoffs.
Sneak
4
in.
teams that do make the playoffs. Baltimore Ravens could be a team that
don't
make it.
Yeah.
They could be.
I thought that was your like Raiders case because I was gonna say because I think you have the Broncos probably making the playoffs, right?
Yeah, it could be. It can go hand in hand. I mean, you never know. The Raiders can be better. They haven't had a football stadium in what, like, billion years, if ever. They've always sharing it with the baseball team. This is their first real stadium, like
Derek
to do what they got to do. Derek, yeah. So I mean, why not? Darren Waller is a freaking beast.
I got him in like 2 of my leagues. I'm pretty excited for him.
So I don't know.
I'm
I would stay away.
Right.
I would just enjoy the game, just look at it, enjoy the game. I think it could be a pretty good game. I think I'll like it.
I've learned a few things about me when I'm betting. I've been trying to bet more and bet less, like money wise, but like bet more amounts of times. I don't know how to explain it. Bet more games, but bet less money, just to like see how I do. And I've been if you kind of read the game like live, I feel like you can kind of like outplay Vegas a little bit. Like I feel you can kind of tell what's going to happen within like a quarter. So that might be one of those things that I do Monday night. I'm just like bored, like at home, like watching it, and then I'll kind of like read the game and be like, all right, I'm going to take, the Raiders plus 10 or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll see. All right. Well, that's the end. You have any other random thoughts? Whether that be like
No, I
what
don't.
you think or
No, I think we covered everything really well.
yeah. Probably try to limit it to like an hour next time, but
Yep.
definitely had a few complications at Brent, at Jamie, at Dax. The
Okay, you really don't have to add me
Okay,
there.
dude,
That was
yeah.
a minute of your time, if anything.
Well, you're keep
Look at
talking.
you. Still going.
Well, you could
Your timer-
turn your stream off. We could have a
Here we go.
conversation
Here we
after.
go.
Oh,
Here we
20
go.
seconds.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say one thing. Brent, most biased RF. Should we give Frost 2 minutes of
Oh,
fame
hey,
right
yeah.
now?
Frost, you
What?
got we're recording right now. You got 2 minutes of fame. What do you
Me and
think
Miles
about
just went 2 hours over the week
Steelers?
1 spreads. We want your opinion on Steelers against Bills.
Well, what's the spread right now? 6.5 still?
6.5. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think they cover it.
Steelers?
Yeah, Steelers cover it. They don't win though.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm 100% on that. 'Cause it just depends if TJ plays. If TJ plays, they're going to cover it.
Thank
It's like
you.
exactly
Wait, so
what
it's still
Miles
it's
said.
still it's still not confirmed, right?
Yeah, still not. I mean, he's been at practice, but he hasn't like. They're still talking in the contract extension, so it's still not like fully confirmed yet.
Yeah. Fuck
So
you.
if he does play, they cover that spread easy because
And
he can put so much pressure on Josh Allen. It's
That's
ridiculous.
exactly what I said.
Yeah. I think at 7, I would like actually bet it. So like maybe I'll do that. I'll probably just like
I mean, you
buy.
could buy.
I think
you
I'm
buy half.
I
buy
think I'm gonna
half a
buy
point.
half a point, bet it,
Yeah.
and then just like ride it. I think 6.5 like scares me a tiny bit just because I can see the Bills like winning by a touchdown.
I think
but
that's the best line out of all the lines this week. Like that is like their Vegas has it spot on. Like where you
that
have
was
to
the
risk
other.
it.
That was another thing that I've been hearing a lot is that Vegas has had a month and a half to sit here just like maneuvering spreads the whole time.
Oh yeah.
So
Did you
they've,
see
like,
all the
perfected
changes in
it.
spreads this last week? It's been
They're changing
ridiculous.
like as we're speaking, like
Yep.
which is kind of funny.
I love that. I got Tampa
Frost, another
covering.
question. How many wins are the Steelers going to get this year?
Let me take a
You
look.
said 9, right?
Yeah, I have it.
We're
at
trying to
9
get
now.
a opinion
9 and
because
7.
we've landed at Brent, most biased RF fan.
Brent said 10.
He
for
said
Eagles.
10 wins for
Let's
Eagles.
go, Frost.
No, Eagles will not win 10 ever.
Ever.
Oh my god. Never
You're
again?
lucky if you even win your first like 2 games.
Mm.
That'd be nice if we started 2-0.
2. Split with the Bengals probably. 9 or 10. I'd say probably 9. I don't think they're going to win 10 this year with that offensive line they have. I want to say 9 just because I believe in Coach Tomlin that he can keep it above 500 or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of want them to lose more just so they can get a higher draft pick. But, I mean, their offensive line is the biggest question this season. I don't think Najee Harris is a question. It's going to be whether or not that offensive line can actually hold up.
Alrighty.
Because
All right,
they have,
Miles.
I think, they have four new offensive linemen on there. Like, it's ridiculous. It's going to be – I'm not very happy about it. So, defensive-wise, they'll be great. But
We'll end our podcast there or YouTube video, whatever. Feel free to, of these 75 people that watch our video, put in comments concerns that you have. You want more or less of Jamie? You want more hot takes from Brent? you want Jamie to be muted the whole time? Let us
Mute
know.
him the whole time.
Wow, that's
Hopefully
so
YouTube
fucked
will
up.
accept my 2-hour video. All right. Thank you for listening.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Hey, how about next time, Mills? You have a
Subscribe.
fucking webcam on, dog.
Subscribe.
I will,
I want to
dude.
quit my day job. All right.